Today, we take you to a leisure farm in Yilan that won the first ever Asia Ecotourism Network award in innovative ecotourism. The farm beat out rivals from 21 countries with its unique forest table tour, which combines a gastronomic experience with wildlife education. There are more than 300 leisure farms in Taiwan, many with greater cash flow or better locations. But it was this Yilan farm that stood out and made its mark on the international stage. What's its secret? We find out in our Sunday special report.
Against the lively melody of folk music, visitors from around the world emerge from a bus. The 17 guests hail from 15 countries spanning Oceania, Central and South America, Africa, and Asia. It's a veritable United Nations. What brought them all the way to this Yilan farm?
那我们这个餐桌呢，名称叫做小鸟的餐桌。大家如果想要吃它。
Now this dining table is the bird table. If you want to eat from it, you'll need to pass a pop quiz. Please name a bird that's representative of your country.
Our national bird is el quetzal. It flies like this.
Wow! 掌声鼓励一下 Very good! 哇，美女果然是。
The visit was organized by the Foreign Ministry's International Cooperation and Development Fund as part of an ecotourism workshop. After sampling the bird table, the guests move on to turmeric jelly at the bee table.
How was it? Good.
Very good.
Very good.
Do you feel like a bee?
Exactly.
Then there's the wild boar table, which is covered with brown sugar soil.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to do the noise anymore.
These forest dining tables are the brainchild of Swiss-Taiwanese chef David Wu. He wants guests to feel as if they were animals foraging in the wild.
The bird table, for instance. I started out by thinking about our natural environment, thinking about what I can use, what we have that birds like to eat.
Wu aims not only to engage the five senses, but also to prompt reflection on nature.
Why are these birds in our environment? Why are bees so important? If we use chemical fertilizers, we are harming bees and birds and other animals. We have to consider them too.
Wu's gastronomic concept brings visitors to the farm from all corners. This year, it defeated 21 nations to win the Innovative Ecotourism Award from Asian Ecotourism Network. The farm was founded by Zhuo Chenming, now 84. 44 years ago, she and her husband bought a piece of mountain woodland for their retirement. In the 1990s, amid a government push for leisure farms, they ventured into agricultural tourism.
一开始就搞吃的。 然后客人田间走走，导览解说。
In the early years of the farm, organic or eco-friendly practices weren't widespread. The couple used pesticides and herbicides until they saw for themselves the harms described in Rachel Carson's Silent Spring.
那个杀虫剂，所有虫类可以把它杀死。 虫子杀死，鸟类去吃那个虫子，鸟类跟着。
Insecticides kill insects. It kills all the insects, and then birds eat the dead insects, and the birds die. When you spray herbicides, all the wildflowers and all the weeds die. What you get at the end is devastation, totally barren ground, soil that turns white. It was horrifying.
It occurred to Zhuo that ancient humans were able to produce good harvests without the help of chemicals. She began to study organic practices to explore how to coexist with nature.
你割的时候，底下要留个差不多10公分。
One practice she adopted was planting crops that were less susceptible to pests and more suited to the local environment, crops like sweet potato leaves and water spinach.
这个也是抓一把。
Today, weeds and crops thrive in her garden side by side. It's just one of the features that set the farm apart. The farm's approach to sustainability was internationally recognized even before this year's award. In 2019, it was one of 2 Taiwan farms certified by the GSTC, or the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. That meant it aligned with UN sustainability goals, achieving a circular economy in food, ecology, and agriculture.
We especially like to attract bees that are higher up in the food chain. They live here in what we call the insect hotel.
Without using pesticides, the farm controls the insect population by employing worker bees. Wood and bamboo are used to attract solitary carnivorous bees to the hotel for residency.
The solitary bees catch insects and put them in here. Then the bees lay eggs and the hatched larva eats the captured insects. We especially want creatures higher up in the food chain to stay here to help us control pests like water scavenger beetles and caterpillars.
In another sustainable practice, the farm integrates ugly vegetables in a circular economy.
Leaves that are no good, we feed them to our cows, goats, and chickens, which produce excrement that we compost. After it's composted, it becomes organic matter that makes our soil very fertile.
各位先请想一下嘛，我们现在不是考试哦，你觉得晚上可能会有什么东西？
Over the years, practices like these have paid off, allowing a rich ecosystem to flourish. To showcase local wildlife, the farm started to offer night tours. The tour tonight is not for guests, but for new employees from Taiwan, Indonesia, and Vietnam to familiarize them with the ecology. Spiders, snails, and stick insects make an appearance. 2 mating beetles become the talk of the evening.
Are you over 18? This is a rated movie.
These little animals are just a fraction of the wildlife that lives here. The most fascinating creatures remain out of sight, but can be observed with trail cameras. Here are wild boars, a family of 3. A Formosan somber deer on a slow ramble. Reeves muntjacs frolicking through the forest. Such footage testifies to the unspoiled natural environment, which is part of why the farm received GSTC certification. Leisure farms have existed in Taiwan for more than 30 years. Today, many have hit a ceiling in their growth.
大概遇到的瓶颈就是有2个啦，一个就是说
The farms have mainly reached 2 bottlenecks. First, they don't offer enough. Most still only do food and drinks and fun and maybe a few DIY activities. Once tourists have had the food and drink, they start looking for other destinations. The second thing is after tourists do the same DIY activities for a while, they get bored.
Scholars suggest that green, sustainable tourism is the future. It could help leisure farms break past the growth ceiling and even attract international tourists. Besides drawing tourists from afar, the Yilan leisure farm also attracts global talent with its sustainable ethos. Its head chef hails from Switzerland. There's Malaysian national Mak Su Kling, who first came to the farm on a working holiday. Rachel, a Vietnamese graduate student, joined this week.
The
first thing that made me want to come here was the natural environment. Just step out the office and you're in the great outdoors. I've learned so much about their sustainable practices. To me, these are new ideas and concepts.
Through promoting Taiwan on the web, the foreign employees have brought more international exposure and tourists to the farm, creating a positive cycle that's also been good for the Taiwanese workers.
When the first foreigner came, one with blonde hair, it was so curious. All the employees hid away and stared and said, how did a foreigner end up at our farm? But over time, we got more and more foreign guests. We also saw lots of foreigners who came to work for room and board. The Taiwanese workers had opportunities for cultural exchange, and they began to realise that our farm was pretty nice.
By embracing nature and sustainability, Jewel has blazed a trail for leisure farms, all while collaborating with the local community. Zhuo and her daughter-in-law are at the docks visiting a fishing family that upholds sustainability. Ling Shuzhen's family runs 3 fishing boats. The household shares Zhuo's commitment to sustainability, refusing to use nets to catch fish.
We use fishing rods, meaning that we only catch a few fish at most. The quantity is kept low, so we don't throw off the balance of the marine ecosystem.
As they share the same values, their partnership is smooth and effortless. Visitors to the farm are offered a fishing port tour that enriches their stay. The tour also helps to fill Lin's portside restaurant and to expand awareness of sustainable practices. Zhuo also buys fresh produce from like-minded farmers.
这个超好吃的嘞！
对，而且这个是日晒的，真的。我们今年可以吃到日晒黑米，对，带棚莲子。我们今年是这样直接卖给客人，
直接这样卖给客人，连工具哦。
Local farmer Zhang Miling is committed to eco-friendly practices. Her fields are free from pesticides. She doesn't even use fertilizer. Although her harvests are smaller, she says she feels richer for it. Under the chef's skillful hands, Zhang's crops become gourmet fare for tourists. Through partnerships like this, sustainably farmed products and their stories can reach a wider audience.
它是一个国际化的农场，所以很多人会来这边。
The farm is quite internationalised, so lots of people go there. When they visit, they can eat the food we grow and possibly hear our stories. I believe there's a lot of value in that. It can produce a spark that catches fire. It can achieve a ripple effect that brings greater visibility to our mission.
Under the ethos of sustainability, tourism can become more than food, drink, and fun. Travelers don't just relish the moment, but do their part for the environment, preserving its beauty and diversity for the future.